So guys, welcome back to our channel. We are still on this issue of the 16 northerners that were buried in Edo State. Ever since this thing happened, so many people have been coming to give their opinions, say what they feel that would have been done even when after everything has been done. So in this particular video that you're about to watch, this is the retired commissioner of police that went on Arise TV. I like the way that Osai fires back at this man for trying to gaslight Nigerians by saying the police are doing their best, the Nigerian security is trying their best, they cannot be here and be here at the same time. Like, is that not your job? Is that not your job to be here and be here at the same time? Because why is it that the police that is even meant to protect the people, they will pack almost all of them to go and give officials, to go and give government politicians? So tell me how then they will be here and be here. Had it been that that community have police or police that is functioning, they would have gotten there before that incident took place. You need to see the way this man was trying to say as if the police tried to do their best in this situation, but because it's the people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, apart from that particular incident, what about other ones that have been happening in Edo State? What have they done about it? Guys, you seriously need to watch this interview to see how most of us Nigerians think. But I am very, very happy of what Rufai gave to him. Just watch.
From Port Harcourt through Edo State, 16 of them were killed, 9 were rescued. What does this say about the state of security, and particularly the role of vigilante groups, whether authorized or unauthorized, in maintaining security in any part of Nigeria at all?
Dr. Abati, thank you very much for your insight and the angle you have approached this incident. Everyone is in agreement that this is a tragedy that had better not happened, but has happened. First, my heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims, and indeed to the government of Kano State and Mr. President, who at the end of the day is responsible for security in every part of Nigeria. You see, vigilante groups, in as much as they complement effort of conventional security forces, also pose a risk if they are not properly regulated and controlled. Basically, it is of utmost importance that those who function as vigilante groups in whatever guise receive training, basic training, both in weapon handling if they have approval to hold weapons, and also in respect for fundamental human rights and the laws of the land. From my own perspective, no vigilante group should function independently. At all material times, they ought to be under the control and coordination of the police. This will check excesses, and it will check arbitrariness and impunity. It is a concern that a vigilante group will block a highway and conduct searches on vehicles conveying travelers. For whatever reason, that ought not to happen, all right, because the law does not confer on them any such powers. So if they are doing anything like that to complement security in the environment, they must be under the supervision of the police. That is basic. Now, for such a thing to happen, it is not something that happened within 5 minutes, within 10 minutes, or even 30 minutes. It speaks to intelligence network. What are the sources of information to the police and other law enforcement agencies in the area? There are community leaders, there are religious leaders, there are people of goodwill who have contact of the police. The DPO, for example, must have his sources within the community. The police cannot be everywhere, but their eyes can be everywhere. And when such a thing is happening, considering the impending disaster of people being brought down from vehicles, people being tied to tires, somebody ought to have called the police. And if there is a good communication network between the community and the police, a call should have been received and an emergency distress team dispatched to the scene to save the situation. Apparently, this is not the case. And so, apart from the investigation aimed at identifying perpetrators, the security architecture in the area must also be reviewed. There ought to be in place a mechanism for preventing such tragedies.
Okay.
And it all boils down to information.
All right. Well, while we're talking about preventative measures,
I'm optimistic.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me just quickly interject here. While we're talking about preventative measures, some might say that one of the biggest components of what happened here was the fact that this group were carrying 19 Dane guns. Yes, of course, many know that Dane guns are locally fabricated and they are used for the purpose of hunting. However, to the untrained eye or to those who may not be familiar, harboring these guns is a red flag in itself. Now, do you think that we need to change, because the narrative, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I believe they are saying that they had permits to carry these guns, although I don't know if those permits would allow you to carry a Dane gun from one part of the country to the other part of the country. Is it time to ensure we have a blanket law that says that nobody is to carry, no private individuals to carry firearms at all? Because some might say it's because they had the guns that this escalated.
I do not think a blanket prohibition from carrying firearms will be the solution. But I agree with you that the idea of transporting firearms across state boundaries is inimical to security. You mentioned that to the untrained eyes, those guns might pose a red flag. That is the reason why those who engage in security duties ought to be trained. When they are trained, they will know which arms are prohibited and which ones are allowed. In many jurisdictions, Dane guns do not require license because it is for hunting. But in hunting, it is not envisaged that they will travel far distances, all right, for such purpose. So, it might be a red flag to the untrained eye. Dane gun in such large numbers and moving in a vehicle, yes, it arouses suspicion. But you see, the bottom line is, even if what they were carrying were AK-47 rifles, the law and the court has not delegated the authority to try, convict, and execute to anyone, not even to law enforcement agents. If it was the police that intercepted them and they did not put up a fight, they did not open fire, they were arrested and the weapons seized, even if they were AK-47 rifles, the police had no power to extrajudicially execute them. They must be arraigned before a court of law. So red flag or yellow flag or by whatever color is not an excuse or a justification for what has happened. So education is important, training is important, but it is important that we educate our people and all vigilante groups across the country. You do not have power to take anybody's life.
Thank you so much.
And I think that should be broadcasted and be made clear to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, very apt point you've made. And I must reiterate here, I totally condemn the waste of life, the killing in Uromi. extrajudicial killing has no place in our country, and we totally abhor it.
Absolutely.
But let's go back to the facts of the matter. 16 Dingons. What I know about hunting, and I've gone on a hunting expedition many times. You hunt in the bush in your locality. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think you also said it. I've never heard of traveling many state lines to go and hunt somewhere. It's normally around your locality. Also, where the role of the government comes in, prior to this time, there has been a constant repetitive action of kidnappers in Uromi. Uromi, around the Ubiaja area, around that Irua area, up till Ikeke. Most of those axes have been inundated by cases of kidnapping. And I know those axes because I traveled around there and I know. And the government have not done anything to stem the tide. Hence, even people now trusting the vigilante. Because people trusting the vigilante that have now gone high-handedness, that have now, perpetrated this in a high-handed way, it's a reflection of the fact that the security services of the state have failed. So, please, help us juxtapose those scenarios. Hunting in a bus, 16 guns, and an area that was initially inundated by kidnappers. What should we have done better? And how, after those perpetrating these heinous acts are brought to book, what should be done to stem the tide of kidnapping in all of these areas?
Thank you very much, Rufai. You made a valid point. 16 guns, but let's look at it from the other perspective. Kidnappers will not bundle themselves into a commercial bus and put their guns as cargo while traveling. Basic interrogation, where are you coming from? We are coming from Port Harcourt, LLING. Where are you going to? We are going to Kanu. What are you going to do? We are going for Salah. So what are you doing with these guns? We are hunters. We went to hunt. Even if the story is not credible, at least they have something to say and you could hear them. Hand over for investigation to verify the claims. I am happy you have condemned the killings. It is not justifiable. But a tragedy has happened and we need to look at it vis-a-vis the previous happenings in that axis, kidnapping. But I disagree with you when you said the government had done nothing. If you go through the records, you will see the head of the security, the state security corps, retired CP Friday Badin, in the recent past, when they combed bushes around that area and also arrested some people who were alleged to be kidnappers. Even though when I read the story and I heard that they were with guns, as I said, these people are hunters, they are not kidnappers. But let's be frank, somebody who is carrying a gun, even somebody who is a hunter, if he is predisposed to criminality, can kidnap if he has the opportunity. Because somebody a gun is pointed at will not say it is just a gun. A gun that can kill an animal can also kill a human being. So yes, if the circumstances, justifies and evidence abound that they are kidnappers, then they should be treated as such, but not through extrajudicial killing.
Thank you so much.
Instead, by proper arraignment before the court of law.
Yeah, I have a quick rebuttal. And even if they were kidnappers, what they ought to have done is they have taken them to the court of law, yes, and we condemn that. See, sir, I don't just talk if I don't know what I'm saying. That's one thing about me. I have facts. The government have not done anything to stem the tide. Forget the arrest and going into bushes for optics. Let me read you one of the messages I got from that area.
You may say the government has not done enough.
No,
maybe the government has not done enough. But to say they've not done anything,
let me read you one of the messages I got from this area, and these are constant messages I have. My hometown Ugboha is seriously under siege of herdsmen, killing, raping, kidnapping. We cannot sleep with our eyes closed. We cannot even go to the farms anymore. Uromi, Ugboha Road has become a no-go area for kidnapping and killing, and it's a daily occurrence. And this has not abated though. No business activity is going on in those areas. Life is now hopeless and at a standstill. It's a daily occurrence. So apart from the optics of going to the bush and arresting some people, no, the real problem had not been solved because it's a daily occurrence, and I constantly get reports around that area constantly. People cannot go home. That's why I say they've not even done anything. Yes, you said they have gone to the bush, they've arrested people, but the problem had not been solved. There was action, but there was no solution. There was no solution.
Maybe they've not done enough. Maybe they've not done enough. Maybe they've not done enough. Maybe they need to redouble their effort. These reports you get, it will be good if you forward them to the Commissioner of Police anytime you receive them. Because the one you receive and you don't forward may not, people may have freer access to you than they have to the law enforcement.
With due respect, I also got another one while I was saying this now. Ikeke. Around that area, if you go, because I've traveled all those areas. Ikeke is under attack. 5 people have been kidnapped in Ikeke.
Okay.
So we've not seen a lot, and I keep reporting all of this on my social media. So it's out there.
Mr. Adeoye, let's stay with the.
Please forward to Commissioner of Police, not on social media. If you want to get results, please forward to the authorities.
I've done that many times.
Mr. Adeoye, let's stay with the subject of the discussion, which is the killing on the Uromi Ubiaja expressway. Now, I go back to the point I made about vigilante, all kinds of unauthorized security outfits. You were commissioner in Anambra State before you retired.
Yes.
Now, will you say that all these vigilante groups, all these security outfits not authorized showing up is because the Nigerian police has failed Nigerians? And then both the state governments and then also other people decide to take law into their hands and commit atrocities with a lot of impunity. If the Nigeria police itself was up and running, would this situation have been the case? What do you think is the problem?
Dr. Abati, when you want to assess failure, you will have to weigh what is available against the responsibilities. You have a country of 240 million people and a police force that is just 300,000. From that statistics alone, you know that a lot of areas will be uncovered. A huge segment of the population will be unpoliced. That is one. 2, you look at what are the logistics holding and the funding of these security agencies. It is said to whom much is given, much is expected. So when you want to assess failure, you need to assess what have you put in place and what empowerment is there for them to discharge their responsibilities. Then you weigh it against performance. It is then you can arrive at an objective, conclusion. So I think the Nigeria police is understaffed and underfunded, grossly so. We need to start looking at practical ways. Mr. President has done something in that regard by giving approval for the recruitment, rapid recruitment of personnel to beef up the strength of the force. I hope that is followed by better equipment and funding so that the spread can be better, the training more qualitative, and equipment enable them to do more than they do currently. Technology is available to enhance performance. If all these are deployed, I assure you, performance will be much better. But coming to the present, I and you, we are in agreement that a lot more needs to be done to enhance safety of life and property across the nation. Kidnapping is a menace in many jurisdictions, not just in Edo State and not just this occurrence. in many states across the country. When kidnapping started in the Niger Delta, way back, when expatriates were the target for ransom, I warned. I said, this thing that is starting, and it is against expatriates, and the locals are clapping, eventually it will become problem of the locals. We are there now. Kidnapping has become a lucrative business. Deliberate actions need to be taken to stem the tide. If death penalty is the punishment for armed robbery, taking somebody's property by force, I see no reason why kidnapping of a human being should attract less a penalty. So even though the world is running away from death penalty and we are stemming away from it, we have a peculiar problem. And only a strong deterrence can stem the tide. I advocate death penalty for kidnappers, so that a strong warning will be sent to all that it is not just business, it is a deadly business. I also advocate that better synergy, communication, information sharing, and intelligence sharing be promoted among various agencies. It is disturbing that this incident happened at Uromi, and while it lasted, there was no intervention, not from police, not from civil defense, not from any agency. That is a cause for concern. More so in an area where Rufai pointed out that kidnapping has been rampant. Definitely it calls for martial action, and I hope the Commissioner of Police in Edo State, her area commanders, and the DPOs will get back to the drawing board and give the people the quality protection they richly deserve. And this is not a favor, okay. It is a duty.
Okay, sir.
Guys, this goes to show that most of these Nigerian civil servants, all the security people that they employ, whether the ones in the police or the local securities, they know what they are doing. So many people have come out to say that their local security self, the ones that is meant to secure people at night, they will be the one to go to sleep before you. You will wake up at 12 and go to the security checkpoint in your community. There will be nobody that will be here. You will have security, yet there will be ongoing every time. This one is not even night. It is before that criminals do come at night, or robbery do happen at night. This one, both daylight, it happens and nothing will happen. Now, do anybody know that these same Uromi people have been complaining of insecurity issues? In fact, the issue of insecurity is general disease in Nigeria, not just in Uromi. Southeast people, have they finished talking about their own? The one of Enugu women came out lying down on the ground to protest. What happened? Nothing. There is no policy that is made to adjust so that what happened the last time will not happen again. Guess what? Those Fulani herdsmen are still practicing in that community. Upon all those women came out to do, nobody heard them. The one man said that the governor just came there to parade himself, walk up and down and sing one, but he didn't even talk. He didn't even speak to anybody. Tell me now, why are we now protesting? You now protest from morning till night. Who will listen to you? Nobody. So now, when the people now decide to take matters into their hand, that is when you will now see everybody. Hey, we are working. They take matters into their hand. They no wait. Keke. What do you expect the people to do? They are already frustrated. Normally, had it been that the police is working in that community, what these people would have done is that when they catch those people and they suspect that there may be something off about them, and they have taken them to the police station, right? But no, because they know that even if you take these people to the police station, they will then go follow you reach house. They will go first you reach house, like the following day, go and ask for those people that you reported. They will no longer be there in the police. That is the kind of security that is functioning in Nigeria these days. So they now know that even the police that are there for fancy. So there is no need reporting. They just have to do what they have to do. Why do we now have police if you cannot protect us? Why do we now have all this security agency that tax money is being used to pay their salary? Why are they now there? You see that everything is just working against the citizens, against the masses. So what do you expect these people to do? Now, Benin people, Edo people are even saying, whatever may come, let it come. They are ready. That's to show you that more of this to come. If there is no total reformation in the security issues of Nigeria, more of this is expected to come. And when some other people see what happened in the Edo state and how people are now handling it, everybody will start handling their own like that. I am telling you. Guys, share me your opinion in the comment section, okay? What do you think about all of this that is going on? What do you think about what this retired commissioner of police said? First of all, share me your opinion in the comment section. Like and share this video, and also subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.